Hi, I'm Amanda, and welcome to Life, Fiber, and Faith. Join me as I chat about my latest fiber arts projects, offer insights into my Catholic faith, and share some of life's everyday moments. Grab some yarn and a cup of coffee or tea, and let's dive in. I have iced coffee today, and it's made using Jot Coffee Concentrate. I'll have a link in the description. It's an affiliate link. You get a percentage off if you use my link, and then I get some points to use to buy more. It's a really great coffee concentrate that I like because I can keep it in the fridge. I don't need to keep coffee beans on hand or anything, and I can just make iced tea or iced coffee. I can make iced coffee whenever I want. So I just put a tablespoon of, this is a 24-ounce cup, so I put a tablespoon of the coffee concentrate in, a pump or two, sometimes 3 pumps of flavor syrup, depending on how sugary I'm feeling, some coffee creamer, and then I fill it up with water to about here, add some ice, and we're good to go. And then I have this really wonderful iced coffee to sip on all day long, or all night long, or whatever it is. It's night where I am, so welcome to who knows what this is doing for lighting tonight. We'll just go with it. Okay, let me pull up my notes. I have notes on my tablet because I want to make sure I say what I want to say tonight. Okay, in the loop for personal updates. I've decided, because I'm working nights, I need something to do to help keep me busy and all of that. So I've been just deciding to start learning Portuguese. Because why not? I already know Spanish to a relatively intermediate level. There's not really any chance to use languages where I live in rural Montana, so I just decided Portuguese sounds fun because who doesn't want to go to Fatima and actually be able to speak Portuguese, or go to Rio de Janeiro and travel around Brazil? Someday, probably never going to happen, but we'll go with it. Today I am wearing my gray knit hat. This is knitted by, the pattern is Tin Can Knits, the barley hat in worsted. It may have some little puckers sticking up because my cat got into this lovely bin where I keep all of my knit hats, and he decided to attack some of them. So I'm very annoyed because now there's like all these little fridgy edges coming up. Don't know how obvious it is on the camera, or but he took some claws to things because he likes wool a lot, and so I'm a little annoyed at him, and I have some hats and things I need to sew some ends back into, but that's a different project for a different day. So because I'm working the night shift and I need things to do to keep me busy, I've been doing the learning Portuguese and also watching some videos on Discovery Plus or YouTube videos and stuff. I've really been enjoying House Hunters International, and the Halloween Baking Championship has been interesting, so I've been doing that. And then reading a bunch, listening to some audiobooks, and just, things to pass the time. And my cat is sitting right over here behind the camera, so if I start talking to him, you'll know why. He's wants to be helpful, I think, is the way he sees it. Let's get into the Crafty Chronicles. So I have all of these projects that some I've finished since last time. I finished the gray shawl I was working on. Again, my cat got into it, so there's pilling on it, and it's going to annoy me to no end. It's not very obvious to most people, but I can see it. So this is the gray shawl that I finished for myself, and it's a very nice shawl. I enjoy it. It comes down to about mid-back. That's a nice spot for it. It's a nice little shawl for me. I kind of like it a lot. I made it using Caron Simply Soft. You can see the pilling from the cat, but it's made using Caron Simply Soft, and it's an acrylic yarn, and I like it a lot. It's very nice. It goes with me to work now for if it gets chilly, because that's the season we're entering. And then with that shawl, I had said I was going to make one for my sister for Christmas, so if my sister's watching this, don't watch. But I made a shawl for her. It's using the Hobby or Hobie, however you pronounce that yarn shop. This is the Cascada yarn, which is a cotton acrylic blend. I used 1.5 of the cakes. I did 15 extra increase rows than the pattern calls for. So it does sit bigger or longer. It has longer ends that fit, so it's nice and toasty warm. I hope she will enjoy it for Christmas And now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like my cat got his claws into this one, so that is a very good thing. Because if he had, I may have, need to get a new cat or something. No, we're just joking. I love him to pieces, so we're good with that. See, what else do I have in here? Those were my finished projects since the last podcast. And then the in-progress project I have this is what I'm working on. This is the beginning of it. I decided this year that I wanted to make a book tracking scarf. So that way I could track how people do like the temperature blankets, but more like book tracking. So like it will track the books I've read for the year. This is still in January. I need to switch to the next color. That's why there's just a clip on with what we've got going on there. But I started out with just some gray to give me my base color, and then switching up through the colors. I have a color coding system that I decided on. I'm using purple. There's 2 different shades of purple that I'm using for historical fiction. Then I'm using red or pink for the contemporary. Blue colors are fantasy. Green is paranormal urban fantasy. I don't think I have any yellow in this one yet. I don't see yellow. Yellow is science fiction, and brown is nonfiction. So those are my book tracking scarf I've started working on. It's a crochet pattern. I just picked a stitch that I liked, that I knew would work up nice. I've seen this one called the pinwheel or the Catherine wheel in different stitch designs, but it's just one that I like. And for every group of 100 pages, it gets 1 row. So since this is technically 2 rows, that it means the book had between 200 and 300 pages. This is where we're at so far. But I figure by the time that I am done with this entire scarf, because I read a lot, it's probably going to be like 10 feet long and similar to the 12th Doctor, or the 8th Doctor, 4th Doctor's scarf. Brain is dying on the number of the Doctor, but scarf. If you know Doctor Who, you'll know what scarf I'm referring to, and that's kind of, I didn't want to make a blanket because that's a lot for each row, and I read a lot, so I was hoping to make it something manageable. So I'm working on a scarf, and we'll see how it all ends up turning out. I'm pretty excited about seeing how far I can get on this. I haven't worked on it for a bit, so we'll have to get back to it. I'm thinking about I had some more of the yarn that I used for this shawl for my sister. I have some left, and I was thinking about making shawls for dolls, 18-inch dolls. A friend of mine, her daughter has an American Girl doll, and I was going to think about making a little mini shawl, mini shawl size for doll size for the doll, and then see how much I have left. I might have enough to make a small child shawl or multiple doll shawls with the same pattern, which I like this yarn a lot. It turned out beautiful and it's very soft. So I do have the 2 other colorways of the same yarn, 1 cake of each. So I might make like a doll hat and shawl or a doll hat and scarf, and then 1 child size. So there's some options there in my brain. Haven't decided on that yet. I did have problems with the alpaca yarn. It was splitting and I wasn't able to. I started a hat and have thrown it on the shelf to maybe come back to it. The yarn split twice before I've even finished the entire first row, so I'm not loving that yarn right now, and I'm not in the right frame of mind to do all of that, so we'll have to get back to that at some point maybe. Seasons of the Saints, faith updates. So I work night shift, hence filming this at night and having terrible lighting, but it actually looks pretty decent through the camera, so I think it is adjusting for light so that we look presentable. But working night shift, having a prayer routine that fits night shift has been interesting because as a consecrated virgin, I strive to pray morning and evening prayer, at least at the minimum, and praying morning prayer right before bed is very odd. And praying evening prayer before going to work is also interesting. And then trying to figure out where to put night prayer, because night prayer is supposed to be prayed before going to bed, but I'm not going to bed till after I prayed morning prayer. It's this really weird trying to get my schedule to make sense prayer-wise too. I have just not been praying night prayer recently because it just feels weird to try to fit it in. because I'm like, then which night prayer do I pray? Do I pray the night prayer for the day it is, or for the day it was the day before, which is the day? It just gets complicated. My brain can't figure it out. So I just haven't done that yet. We'll see if I can figure out how to make it make sense in my brain because I just am struggling with that bit right now. But I have been using the Hallow app. I have a link for that I will share that is, it has Catholic reflections and daily prayers and stuff. I've been using that for, especially when I get home, I'll put on something when I am falling asleep or getting ready to go to bed, so that way I have some prayer background noise, which is always nice. I tested out for about a week and a half the daily scripture YouTube shorts. I think if I continue doing them, or if I start them again, it will be on only Instagram and TikTok because I don't think YouTube is the right platform for those shorts for sure. So I was just testing it out. So if you have any other ideas on the daily scripture shorts, just let me know and we can figure things out because there's options. There's always options. And then we have the group chat community section. Let me pull up the comments that I had so that we can address those comments. A comment from, I cannot zoom this up, so let's hold it closer to my face. From Liz07G90 says, can you explain sometime what badge reels are, how they are used, and where you get them? So badge reels are, here's a picture of one that I have. They are usually part of like teachers or medical. They clip on to your shirt and then they have a section that pulls out with a little plastic loop. And I use that plastic loop to put my yarn through, to tension my yarn from the front when I am knitting Portuguese style, which is how I knit. I do have some short videos of me that I took when I was knitting at work that you can kind of sort of see the badge reel. But I can always do another video about how I actually knit if that's helpful to people. But I just get them on Amazon. I had a bunch of them from when I was a teacher. So they just clip on and they have the pulley section so that your keys were able to reach farther, or your off your lanyard or off of your jacket so that you could get into doors that you needed or whatnot. So that's what badge reels are. I've been using them in place of just the Portuguese knitting pins. I do have one of them, but I prefer the badge reels just because I have a bunch of them and I think they're cute too. So that's what I have there for those. Then Aaron Myers 4665 said, I have a question. Can you do crochet book covers? Is that a thing? You can, but you have to be careful with what size yarn you use and how thick it is, because where did my one go that I was talking to? There it is. So this is using a worsted weight yarn. You can see that it kind of is thick. So depending on if you're making a book cover for a softcover book or a hardcover book, you have to be careful because you're going to have the fold over edge around a book. And that will create a gap in the pages, kind of. Would suggest using a lighter weight yarn and just doing enough of the front to get the cover to fit in, because there's always going to be gaps because you're adding a book cover to it. I have seen book cover patterns. I did make one at one point. I don't actually know where that book cover is anymore, but I had made a book cover for one of my books that was like the standard size paperback book that I had that I would take. I used it in high school a lot, I believe. If I can find it, I'll let you know, but I'm not sure where it would be. But yes, you can crochet book covers. I haven't since high school, but it's a thought. If you'd use much smaller yarn weights like fingering weight or lace weight yarns, or even the crochet threads, you could make something that would be practical as well as cute. So yes, you definitely could. Let's see. Any other fun comments that I have on here? That's all I've got for now. So that's all I have for the comments today. So make sure you're leaving some comments if you like. I did do an update to Patreon membership tiers because I had an email asking me if I was still on Patreon. So I just did an update to that. Once I reach the point where I can have YouTube memberships, I'll have them here too. We'll have the same benefits. So yeah, that's that update that I did there. Also, want to do some more updates to the Discord server. I don't know if you are familiar with Discord. It's kind of like a message board. So there's a server, and the server is the message board format for each one. The one that we have here is called Amanda's Parlor, and you're more than welcome to join if you'd like. Again, links will be in the description. So that's all I've got for bulletin boards. So I guess that's it for today's episode of Life, Fiber, and Faith. I appreciate you spending time with me. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next one. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop me a comment. Let me know what you're working on, how your faith journey's been going. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to make a video on, let me know in the comments as well. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. God bless.